Welcome back to the Green Beans Go channel. It's your host, me, and J. Cole just dropped his Might Delete Later album, and I'm going to talk about it. And I realize this is a sports channel. This is a sports betting channel. I realize that the YouTube algorithm is not going to know what to do with me because it can't figure out that I'm not talking about sports, so it's not going to know who to get this video out to the right. I'm over it. I don't care because I want to be a channel that just creates videos that I want to create. And so that's what I'm going to do today. And I'm going to talk about this. And the reason is I don't really like J. Cole. Never have. J. Cole became popular, or I first heard about J. Cole in 2010-ish. When I was working at a pool as a lifeguard, one of the other lifeguards showed me J. Cole. And I have always felt like J. Cole is very talented. And he has stayed relevant for the longevity of the mid and late 2000s, 2010, 2020. Okay, he's been in the game, and I respect that. But I typically look for hip hop. I seek out hip hop that is bar after bar after bar, that is lyrical, that is wordplay, that I don't care if it's a little bit goofier or cornier, as long as I'm thinking the whole time. All right. I don't care for storytelling, emotional, varying up the flow. I don't care for that type of rap. And I feel like J. Cole, more times than not, is a great storyteller, is a great creative, is an artist, but he doesn't always bring the bars. Like, they're sprinkled in, but it's not just constant bar after bar after bar. Okay. And that is what I like in hip hop. All right. And I know people don't agree with that. People don't like that. People say that, that's cheap hip hop. That's fine. Okay. That's just my opinion, and I don't need you to agree with me. I know I'm in the minority there. So he drops this album, and my friend, who is a big J. Cole guy, texts our group chat and said, wow, out of nowhere, this album came out. And I said, okay, whatever, I'll give it a listen. And the reason I did, and the reason I do this, is so that I can be critical, all right? That I can be contrarian, that I can sit here and I can tear this album up and I can say, man, another reason why I don't like J. Cole. And ladies and gentlemen, it was impossible. From the top, as you can see, his first song on this track, I gave it a 10, all right? And I've only listened to it one time through, and I will listen to it again. I plan on listening to it again today and in the future. But I'm not going to give you too many spoilers, but I am going to walk you through what I remember from each of these, and kind of why I gave them the reviews that I did, and hopefully you will be able to listen to them and come to your own conclusions. But the first two tracks are perfect. I don't know, beats, hooks, bars, like all of it. I could not figure out what I could change. I didn't love the hook on the first song the first time, but the second time it came in, I warmed up to it. The third song, Ready 24, got an 8, and I think had J. Cole just done this himself and not extended the invite to the feature here, it would have been a 10. We could have had potentially four perfect songs in a row, which is unheard of in my opinion. I'm a tough critic, and I went into this trying to be a tough critic, and I couldn't be. Didn't like the feature on that song, so that's why it got an 8. Cole carried that song. Huntin Wabbitz, the samples at the beginning and the end were clever. The bars were clever. The beat was good. 10. Like, I didn't want to continue listening to this after the first 4 songs because I didn't want it to get worse. I was like, it's going to get worse. Like, it can't maintain this. And I realized, like, the comments, if you guys are going to comment on this video right now, you're going to say the glaze is unreal. This man is glazing, glaze city. I get it. I get it, but you have to understand where I'm coming from, and that I don't like J. Cole. And so for him to be able to do what he did to me with this album, it's worth noting. H.Y.B got a 9, and again, it's the features. I've crossed them out. If he leaves off those features there, I think it's another perfect song. And then, like all rappers, they gotta have that sex song, that love song, that lady song, and it's not for me. I just find it overdone. I don't care how well you behave with the ladies, how good you are with the feminine. It's not. I don't care. 5. It wasn't good. And this album would have been no skips if it wasn't for that song. I just don't need it. It's not. You give me 5 bangers in a row where you're like the best rapper on earth. You have me believing that, and then you go and talk about this chick. I don't know. 5. Stickz N Stonez. I think the beat lacked a little bit in what I look for in a beat. It was a little too simple and too common, if you will. So it got an 8, but still the bars were unbelievable. That's the thing. The bars in this album, I'm going to have to listen to it again because I know I missed some. There were times when I was cleaning my house when I was listening to this where I was like the double entendres that he has in here. I'd never heard J. Cole do what he did as many times as he did throughout an album that I have with this. Okay, Pie, the Ab Soul song, 9.5, and it did not start out that way. It grew on me as it went. It starts off slow and it ends slow, but they start picking it up in terms of the layering of the wordplay and the layering of how they go back and forth. It's art. That song is not one that you're probably going to put on your playlist to hype yourself up. It's not going to go on your exercise routine workout playlist, but it's well done from the perspective of art. Stealth Mode, that was one that in Trae the Truth were probably the weakest songs, obviously, in my opinion, were the weakest songs besides the Love-ish song on this album. And I think both of those go back to more of how I know J. Cole. Those were very storytelling, more emotional, if that's the right word, more I'm going to paint this picture for you rather than I'm just going to body this beat and give you something to think about and show off my creativity front to back, whereas the other ones were that. 3001, another one that started off a little slower and grew on me. By the end of it, I was like, okay, I can give this a solid 8. There were enough bars in here, and the beat was, I liked the beat in that one as well. And then 7 Minute Drill is the one that everybody's probably going to be talking about, and I am not hip on the beef between him and Kendrick Lamar, who it is well known that he is calling out here, but I appreciated it. It stirred something within me. I felt like I needed to be mad at somebody listening to it. I needed to have beef with somebody. I don't know who they are, but I need it because that's the kind of sound that was in it. My reason for the 8.5 on that is there's a beat change in the middle, which I get. I'm going to listen to it again, and maybe I will be able to figure out the art behind it. I didn't love the beat change. I believe that he goes in for a minute and a half, and then like there's like a kind of an intermission in the song. There's like body bag zipping up, and then the beat switches out, and he continues to diss Kendrick. And I think I just like the first half better, and the second half comes in, and I didn't like the change. So that's why I got an 8.5. It's still good, but I wish he would have had first beat, body bag intermission, and then the same beat come back in with the same type of energy. But it's not me being critical necessarily. It's just being picky. Fantastic album. If you are someone who is looking for bar after bar after bar, an album that you can think about and also just put on and just feel, it's hard to say that this is not the one for you. I mean, it's nearly no skips, 12 songs, 43 minutes. I would give this album a 9 out of 10. And that is coming from someone who does not like J. Cole. So this is not my typical rapper, my typical style. This is not somebody I seek out to listen to. When J. Cole drops an album, I usually go, meh, it's going to be more of the same. All right. I'm a critic of J. Cole. So for him to do this, which is more in my wheelhouse of what I prefer to listen to, fantastic. All right. Hopefully this video didn't screw up the algorithm and YouTube will not punish me and put me in a little YouTube prison. But thank you guys for stopping by as always. And if you like sports content, you can subscribe. If you want more music reviews, you may get one once a year. And that's just how it's going to be. So Appreciate you guys, and go check out Might Delete later.